surrounds this planet. Won't you tell me what's really going on? Would you tell me if you're just marking time? 'Cause if you're out of love, then I'm better off knowing the truth. 'Cause I need a lover.
Welcome everybody to week 6 of NDSU CCL League of Legends. It's perfect timing because draft has started, so let's get that shown here. Both teams sitting at 3 and 2. This should be a fun one for us. First bands coming out. It's almost like they're going alphabetical for us. If it's an ASOL ban, I think that would only be fitting, right? As always, well, maybe not always, but I'm back. Your host, Dan Gotti Boy. As we see a few more bans come out, we have the Syndra target ban at Storm Stars. And then the Amumu target ban against BMed and Fresh Cut. Something we've come to be used to. And the Instalock Xayah comes in for NDSU. Looks like they've been practicing that one. UNL hovering the Kai'Sa. They will lock that one in. And it is the Kai'Sa Nautilus combo. That's one that we know to be a formidable force in the bot lane. Hook champions all getting buffed up. So we like to see that. We're kind of out of the Enchanter meta a little bit, so it's always fun seeing those engage hook supports. We'll see what NDSU responds with, whether they go with the Rakan or just go with their jungle pick here. It is going to be a Sejuani lock for Fresh Cut. And I'd be curious to see what BMed decides to go in support here. The Rakan honestly gets shut down fairly well by the Nautilus by getting grounded or stopped in place, but it is going to be the Morgana instead. So really just playing to kite for this Xayah. Lots of CC coming out for NDSU already with those with the Glacial Prison and the Dark Binding from Morgana. So good start for NDSU so far. We'll see what UNL responds with. Most likely their jungler. And the Kindred Hover, I'd love it if he picks this, and it is going to be locked in. So UNL coming out with a spicier pick, not something you see every day. Shenban comes out, targeted against Josh Peck. And NDSU taking their time here on this next ban. Most likely top lane or mid, as the other three positions have been taken out here. Veigar taken away. Not a pick that you see often, but it must be something that UNL likes to play with. But I am going to be really intrigued to see how this Kindred works out for UNL. That's always a champion that's tough to pull out in competitive. Next, the Ornn band. So two of Josh Peck's top picks getting taken away there. Going to force him onto something a little different. There are still plenty of options at the top lane with what has mostly been a tank meta. Or at least if you're Josh Peck, it's a tank meta. And lastly, the Anivia band comes out. So that also limits Stormstar's champ pool, as that is another one of the champions that he likes to play. But it still has the Vex on the table, the Orianna, Ahri. Still plenty of options available. UNL on the clock, hovering the Rumble. That would be a very niche pick. I'd be interested to see if they actually do lock it. And they do, so most likely Rumble top. Kind of an interesting combo with the champions they have right now. But maybe it's comfort for them. So we'll see what NDSU responds with as they have to blind pick mid lane here with their last two picks. And the Azir, I didn't even notice, but it got left up for Storm Stars, his mastered champion. So not something we get to see every day. The Storm Stars Azir usually gets banned out right away, so that makes it through pick ban all the way down to their 4th pick. And now NDSU on the clock for Josh Peck's pick. And it's going to be the Cassante Hover, still very strong. And that is going to be what they lock in. So NDSU locking in 2 strong solo laners. And UNL will respond here with what I would expect to be their mid lane. Typically Rumble's in the top lane, but you never know. Maybe it's the pick they had ready for the Azir. I don't think it's a very good matchup for him myself, but it's going to be the Gragas Hover. Very strong champion right now. But they decide to switch over to the Malphite, so I would expect that this Rumble is indeed going mid unless they're fine with the Malphite into Azir, but I don't think that is a very good matchup for them. And that is going to be what they go with. So interesting last leg of the draft there for UNL. Definitely kind of going for a bit of a wombo with the Malphite Rumble ults, but bit of counter synergy, honestly, with their team comp. You know, they've got Kaisa and Malphite that want to go in, but then Kindred and Rumble kind of want to play from a distance. And I'm not sure where Kindred ult is going to come in to account in this game. Meanwhile, on the other side, NDSU has a lot of really good lockdown with the Dark Binding and the Glacial Prison. Zaya Feathers on top. And we'll get to see a little bit more action in the top lane, I'm hoping, with this Cassante pick from Josh Peck. He's usually just kind of left on an island up in the top lane, but maybe we'll see some more action this time around. And with the draft finished, we'll get a little prediction going here in the chat on who y'all think is gonna win. Let's see. If I remember how to run it. I'm still new to this stuff, guys. I'm still new. But you'll be able to use your Bison points for this. I swear it's just /prediction. Oh, you know what it is? I don't know if the esports account has affiliate. Yeah. We're still a new account, so, you know, we don't have those powers. That's all right though. If I had to pick right now, I'd give the edge over to NDSU based on draft, but we've known from the past with these CCL games that draft is not everything. And NDSU has not won, by the way. I like how I left that up there. Nobody even said anything. Come on now, guys. But with that, we will be waiting for a 3-minute spectator delay. So we'll go to a brief break. And we will be back with game 1 of UNL versus NDSU. All right, let's get on to the Rift. Game 1 here, week 6 of CCL, League of Legends. UNL bringing out the Kindred Jungle, along with the Rumble mid. Not picks that you see very often here. Meanwhile, NDSU getting the comfort pick of the Azir for Storm Stars. But the one place that I'm really going to be looking is bot lane this game. UNL definitely wanted their Kai'Sa Nautilus combo. So I want to see if they can push their advantages with that lane matchup. As we see UNL 5-stacking topside here. The hook will land onto Josh Peck in 2004. Caught sleeping. The ward over the wall helped too. He is forced to flash away. No summoners used until the flash ignite comes out from Beware of Space. Flash from Bombzilla as well. They don't have the kill. And a bit of a blunder there. They thought they had the kill already, but they come out with nothing. So good job by Josh Peck to survive that one. And I'm genuinely surprised he survived that. Get the zoom out here. So in the end, it ends up being 3 summoners for 1 in favor of NDSU. Josh Peck just barely surviving there. Doesn't have to use his TP either. Now Malphite is going to cheese him on the bush here. Just slap him with a pancake and walk away. Meanwhile, NDSU's bot lane did leash the bot side red buff for Fresh Cut. Same thing on the other side. And we'll want to be watching these Kindred stacks early game and see if Fresh Cut is able to deny them early. Because if you're able to keep the Kindred at bay throughout the early game, it's really hard for the Kindred to have much of an impact in the game. As we do see the Razzle Dazzler missing out on a couple CS there. He only ended up getting like 2 minions from that first wave. So an early CS advantage for Mojo Joe as the hook goes wide there. And it'll really be up to NDSU to have fast hands to react to any of the engage from Beware of Space with the Black Shields, and then eventually with the ultimate, as Josh Peck getting in some good trades here. It was a Corrupting Pop Biscuit start for Malphite, so he went for Biscuits for the laning, but Cassante seems to be winning that out right now. Meanwhile, good E there from Razzle Dazzler gets a big chunk on a Beware of Space. So now NDSU in good control of the bot lane as Stormstars and Carson trade in the mid lane. Both had about half health. Now Kindred went straight to her red buff. Bombzilla now going over to his Raptors. So was maybe looking for a gank, but NDSU has done a good job so far of providing some good vision. You see the one in the top side there. And Tribush, as well as Stormstar's top side of the mid lane. Meanwhile, Bad Ocean going for a trade here, but Cassante seems to be winning these out pretty handily. And Kindred is going to be spotted out on this Tribush, so Josh Peck should see this coming, but I don't think NDSU has pinged this out, and now he is too deep as he went for a late trade. Fresh Cut not running yet, now just pathing over. Josh Peck trying to cancel those autos from Kindred, but that's first blood, and honestly, that should never happen. They had the Kindred on a ward, and nobody pinged it out, nobody saw it, nobody called it from what I could tell there. Meanwhile, some more trading. Another good CC chain onto Beware of Space, and he takes a decent amount of damage there. Meanwhile, Kindred is pinging to get the Bombzilla. Bombzilla trying to get that Kindred stack. Meanwhile, another Root comes in as Exhaust is forced out, so Razzle Dazzler really putting a beating on him, but Fresh Cut very behind in this early game, just trying to match this Kindred speed. But with NDSU's pry on the bot lane, they're going to try to collapse on the Kindred, who just got smite up in time. So Bombzilla does get hit by a bind. No flash either on this Kindred. Exhaust comes down as well, and this should be a kill for NDSU. Stormstars picks that one up. So the Kindred gets the stack and an early kill, but NDSU able to respond and pick off Bombzilla in the river there. But that's what we talked about. Fresh cut gotta be more on top of those Kindred stacks. I think NDSU could have potentially stopped that Kindred from getting that stack if they had just used their prio better and walked into the river. But Bombzilla is gonna have that, so I don't think Bombzilla had a first stack on Josh Peck. Nope. So Bombzilla just has one mark at the moment. Beamaduna just going to miss that bind and keeps walking forward and gets one shot. A little too aggressive. Now the flash from Beware of Space. Razzle Dazzle going to flash as well. Going to take a lot of damage here. Oh, the root just isn't there, and Beware of Space gets out with just a sliver of health. So Bombzilla bringing the attention down to the bot lane to get this Kaisa Nautilus ahead, and will succeed. And with that, minor gold lead already accruing for UNL. And I would expect that is through the bot lane here as Josh Peck continues to trade on in this Malphite. And honestly, I don't really see either of these champions killing each other in the top lane alone. It's going to definitely be from jungle intervention. Malphite's just too tanky, but I also don't think he has the damage to finish off Josh Peck. Now Beamaduna going to face check Dragon here. And Bombzilla doing a great job of keeping the tempo up on this game. Picks up first Dragon at 6.5 minutes. Josh Peck gets some more good damage in on a Bad Ocean. Bad Ocean knows that he has his ult and flash to get out if anything gets too crazy. And yeah, NDSU just a little bit behind on the pace of the game right now. Fresh Cut has more farm at the moment, but at the end of the day, on Sejuani, you want to really trying to be getting those ganks off with your good CC abilities. So we'll see Kindred pathing up towards the top side here. This time, Bombzilla is going to path through Gromp Pit, or sorry, Herald Pit, but is going to get spotted out by a Pink Ward, and Josh Peck does see this gank coming. Meanwhile, max range bind hits in the bot lane. Mojojo getting chunked a little bit there with his Noon Quiver finished. Meanwhile, Stormstars pushing in Carson. And this is about how you'd expect this lane to go in the mid lane. Zir with the range advantage. Meanwhile, Bombzilla just trying to get this wave in for Bad Ocean so that he can hit a reset. Started Lucidity Boots. Pretty interesting build path so far from Bad Ocean. I would have expected to see maybe some early armor come out, but opts for the boots. Now Bombzilla coming mid lane here. Stormstars should be fine as he hovers towards the bot side here. NDSU's bot lane getting pinged out by UNL. And Carson just taking a lot of damage. He's got to be careful here with this poke. And Stormstars doing a good job of creating pressure here in the mid lane. Kind of the one positive right now for NDSU at the moment. Bit of a CS lead in the top lane as well, though, as Stormstars cancels Carson's back. Beamaduna does miss the binding there. And Kindred hovering mid again. Has not been able to get another stack since that first one. Or another mark. Stormstars is getting chased down here in the river, though. Beamaduna is going to start walking up. Stormstars does have flash, and he will just QE out of that one. So he is safe for now. And Fresh Cut, very quiet early game for him so far. No ganks whatsoever. No neutral objectives. But with that being said, he's going to start up the Rift Herald, knowing that Kindred's on the bot side of the map. And NDSU, they do see Kindred with this deep ward that was placed earlier, and they might look for something aggressive, but Stormstars is getting pulled down as well, but they opt to get out of that one as UNL's bot lane was on their way. Josh Peck Trying to get in some more trades there. Try to keep up the lane dominance that Cassante can have. And now we see Bombzilla on this Kindred Pathing bot side as Stormstars takes a decent amount of damage there. And Josh Peck going in for a trade once again. Keeping Bad Ocean at about 30% HP constantly. UNL's bot lane hitting a reset after they pushed that wave in. Mojojo up about 15 CS at the moment, but that'll get dwindled down a little bit. Meanwhile, both top laners just kind of ignoring each other while they hit the wards. Bad Ocean taking a deep amount of damage. He goes in with the ultimate. Does he have the damage to finish off Josh Peck? Josh Peck's got to be careful. The flash from Bad Ocean. He does fall, though. And the flash over the wall from Josh Peck survives just for a little bit. Bombzilla also flashed the wall, and now Fresh Cut is here. Now Bombzilla does have Lamb's Respite. It's going to drop there under tower, but with the Glacial Prison, NDSU should be able to clean this one up. GG, well played there by Josh Peck. Meanwhile, we've got a fight in the mid lane as well. Both mid laners flash. Stormstars kind of flashed out of position there. Would have been able to finish the kill if he hadn't done that, and just barely doesn't have the damage. But well played by Josh Peck, soaking up so much pressure already this game. Picks up both kills, so this Cassante is going to be a menace. And you know that that Sheen came in so handy in that fight. Bombzilla not able to finish off the kill and pays for it with his life. Ooh, binding just misses from B Meduna there. And bot lane, honestly, not as volatile as we would have expected. NDSU did pick a very, I don't know if you want to call it safe bot lane, but they're able to just kind of eat anything that Nautilus throws their way. With that being said, though, Kindred has started up Dragon number 2 here at 1144. Josh Peck continuing to trade in Bad Ocean. I don't think you win this fight, man. That is a finished Frozen Gauntlet on Josh Peck as he just continues to beat down on Bad Ocean. Meanwhile, down in the bot river, Dragon is finished for UNL. So that is number 2 already. And Bombzilla, despite the failed attempt at killing Josh Peck in the top lane, still doing a good job at controlling these early objectives, securing 2 dragons already for UNL. You know, every time we look bot, it feels like NDSU has control, but the Razzle Dazzler, you know, ever since the beginning of the game has been down about a wave or 2 of CS. So good job by Mojojo to continue to last hit consistently this game. Meanwhile, I'd say there's about the same CS differential in the mid lane as this Rumble pick just does not feel like it's working out for UNL as a hook lands onto a minion, but the bind misses from B Meduna, so Nautilus ult is going to get them out of that one. A little bit of a misplay from both supports there, so Root does land from Razzle Dazzler, but it's not enough to finish off the kill. But with Nautilus ult down, I mean, that could mean that NDSU's bot lane could look for something. And with that being said, Fresh Cut is pathing bot lane. I'm not sure if that ward in the jungle spotted him. I didn't see it pinged out. But flash ult from B Meduna. The Glacial Prison goes wide. They have split focus, but they will finish off Mojojo. So good gank there. But meanwhile, Josh Peck potentially getting shut down here by Bombzilla. Ram's Respite is up. They don't even need it. So shutdown gold goes over to Bombzilla. Just 200, but on the other side of the map, NDSU trying to trade with some plates. So good heads up play by Bombzilla, but he's going to get the icing on the cake. Might be able to grab some camps up here as well as Bombzilla heads into the Wolf Pit for Fresh Cut. So pathing from Fresh Cut, kind of forced to go bot lane after that Nautilus ult was forced out, but now he is losing out on his entire top side. We'll see if he catches Bombzilla here, but I don't think there's really anything Fresh Cut can do. He does end up smiting that one away, so Bombzilla not able to take that one away, and Fresh Cut, good job kind of cutting his losses there. As we look at the gold here, about a 500 gold lead in the top lane. You would have expected a little more, but Bombzilla has been showing a lot of attention up there for Bad Ocean. Not something you typically see for Malphite lane, but you don't want to get this Cassante to be too much of a menace on that split push. Meanwhile, in the jungle, a bit of a gold advantage for Freshcut, actually, just doing a good job of continuing to farm up about 20 CS on Bombzilla. But mid lane is really where the gold advantage is for NDSU. Stormstar is able to pick up that early kill on that roam bot side. He's up about 800 gold right now. So looking good on his favorite champion so far. More trading the bot lane. Ultimate from Josh Peck comes out. Forces the flash out from Bad Ocean, who had ulted already. I'm not sure what happened with his ult. The Q missed from Josh Peck, but he just taunts him, delays the auto, finishes off the kill. So that's a solo bolo for NDSU's top laner. Well played. And yeah, I did not see the Malphite ult there. I don't know what happened, if it got buffered or something. I don't know. I'd have to look back at that. But meanwhile, Bombzilla stuck between a rock and a hard place. Going to try to fight this one out as Rumble comes in. Stormstar is a great drag there. And the perfectly timed ultimate from Freshcut makes sure that Bombzilla can't ult in time. So well played there by the mid-jungle duo of NDSU. Game state pretty peaceful at the moment. NDSU up about 3.5k gold now with a few different plays going their way. So very well played by them so far. Reminder that both these teams are 3-2 in the CCL league. So kind of looking to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. And NDSU would definitely welcome a win after a couple tough weeks in recent past. Now looking at timers here. Oh, never mind. Carson face checks into the bot lane, or the support jungle duo of NDSU, but they're not able to finish off the kill. Carson flashed away. Now Freshcut has to flash to get out of that play. And the collapse from UNL forces NDSU out of the area, but they need to contest this. Infernal Dragon has spawned here. Now we see a TP coming in bot side from Bad Ocean. Dark Binding lands, but that's not on the person they really need, as Beware of Space tries to get out of there. And it looks like UNL is either deciding to let drag go. No, they aren't. So it was actually the Rumble TP that came in bot side, and Malphite is above them. Rumble ult comes down onto the Dragon. It's going to be a fight here in the Dragon pit. Bad Ocean about 50% HP in the top side. Beware of Space follows, but UNL trying to get the Dragon. They will win the smite fight, so Bombzilla secures their third Dragon, which is huge for them. Might even get out with his life. Razzle Dazzler not able to finish out the kill with the ultimate, so the top and support fall for UNL, but they get the Dragon as Bombzilla takes a few camps before falling to the Razzle Dazzler. So NDSU getting kills as consolation, but now they are in danger of giving away soul at the next Dragon. That fight was kind of all over the place, but NDSU ultimately is a lot stronger at this moment in the game. But they started up the Dragon before really making sure that they had the area secured, and end up kind of burger flipping the Dragon. So that one ends up going in favor of UNL. NDSU going to finish off this Rift Herald if they can. Bad Ocean is going to face check this into 3 people. So Freshcut just going to charge onto him right away. They haven't cleared out the pink ward that's there, but I don't think that this one's going to go over. That one will be secured by Freshcut. Let's pan on over to Bombzilla here. See how many marks he has. Sitting on 2 marks right now at 19 minutes. So not exactly what they were hoping for with this pick yet. As a flash from Nautilus into the hook. Absolutely destroys Razzle Dazzler. Picks up the shutdown for his ADC. So Razzle Dazzler just kind of caught alone in the mid lane. Not sure why he was so far out, but he gets punished for it. So well played by UNL. Bombzilla trying to make his way topside for this mark in the river. I think that Scuttle Crab is still up as UNL brute forces their way mid to take that tower out. And Bombzilla is just going to keep going. He's got plenty of damage with this Kraken Slayer, but the binding line's under tower and he's just dead. Lamb's Respite is not up and just took off a little more than he could chew there. Now Fresh Cut comes in. Glacial Prison does not land onto Mojojo, who ults out, gets a decent amount of damage on, but that is a tanky Sejuani. Now the rest of NDSU falling in here. Storm Stars gets the flash ultimate in there. Razzle Dazzle are going to pick that kill up. Now they move on to the support of UNL. Beware of Space going to fall to Beam Aduna. And that means that Baron is on the table for NDSU. Great collapse after Bombzilla just goes way too far forward into Beam Aduna. Big turn there. Now 6K gold lead for NDSU. Going to be even more. Bad Ocean might be looking for the God Steal here with the ultimate as Storm Stars just zoning him out. And that is going to be secured by NDSU. So 3-0. NDSU picks up Baron right at 20 minutes. And hopefully they can get out with everybody alive here as the Rumble comes down and Josh Peck actually jumps through it, but they're all good. And Beam Aduna has been very good with these Dark Bindings into the mid game. Good stuff so far from NDSU. 7K gold lead, and we'll see what they can do here with this Baron. And whatever UNL was going for with this draft, I don't really think it's worked out for them. I haven't really seen any team fights from them work out. I mean, I haven't seen any multi-man Malphite ults. I haven't seen any really major Rumble ultimates. I mean, they don't have a ton of CC to stack with the Rumble ults. So just a lot of kind of counter synergy, honestly, with their comp. It's kind of confusing me. Meanwhile, NDSU, not that their comp is specifically synergistic either, but they clearly are more comfortable on their champions and their pick potential is way up there as well. NDSU has a false sense of security with the Azir turret as Razzle Dazzler forced to use his ult and he's just going to get blown up. Black shield way too late from Beam Aduna. And Stormstar is actually going to get knocked up as Bombzilla takes so much damage. The shackles coming out for Beam Aduna. Also pops the Zonia, buying so much time as Stormstars is just melting UNL. Meanwhile, Fresh Cut just going to beat down Bombzilla. And they pick up 2 kills, make it 3, maybe 4 as Mojojo goes in. Can't finish the kill on Beam Aduna. Double kill over to Fresh Cut. Now 406 pops the Rift Herald. And UNL trying their darndest, but they are just too far behind at this point. As NDSU continues to push in, Stormstars did so much damage in that fight. Sitting on 2 items, and NDSU need to pick up this dragon to make sure that there's no chance UNL picks up the soul for another 3-4 minutes. Yeah, Carson on this Rumble, not really accomplishing a lot. You know, he's got his proto belt, but no kill participation whatsoever. Down about 25 CS. And I'm just not seeing it from the side of UNL. I mean, what is their plan here? What was their game plan going into this game? Was it comfort? Was it strategy? Was it 40 chess? I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not working yet. And if I'm not mistaken here, Kindred is still sitting on 2 stacks 24 minutes into the game. This is absolutely brutal. Josh Peck now sitting on 2.5 items against just the Dead Man's Plate of Bad Ocean, but Bombzilla's in the area. Josh Peck might have trolled that blast cone. He's going to try to get out of this, but he's looking to turn this fight actually in a 2v1. Meanwhile, Carson just going to drop to Razzle Dazzler and the rest of NDSU as they push up Josh Peck buying so much time here. He ults the Malphite over the wall. Perfectly played. The flash does not save Bad Ocean. And great job by Josh Peck just baiting him into that long wall. And now he's looking for more. I mean, this man is fed. 4-2. Glacial Prison gonna go wide. Bombzilla does have the Lamb's Respite, but Fresh Cut just wins these, man. And he just kills him. Bombzilla not even gonna press R there. He just knows his fate is sealed. And Fresh Cut after a slow early game doing really well here. 5-0-6. Now great CC chain just absolutely decimates Stormstars, and B Maduna has been very late on these black shields. I don't know if he didn't have it up there, but Beware of Space doing a great job punishing NDSU for just kind of overstepping there. A lot of unnecessary deaths this game, honestly, for NDSU, despite them only having 6 deaths 25 minutes in. Yeah, as we look at the gold now, huge gold leads on the top side for NDSU. Never would have guessed that the Sejuani has such a big lead over this Kindred, but Bombzilla just has not been able to get it done ever since the early game. And Fresh Cut on this comfort pick, Sejuani doing a great job getting everything he needs to done for his team. Dragon is spawning in 2 minutes. Baron in 30 seconds. We'll see which one the teams decide to prioritize. And NDSU, you know, they have such a great advantage, a lead right now. But they're kind of getting forced out of top river, but fighting their way back, getting lots of vision down. And it does look like NDSU is kind of setting up for Baron with all of the vision they have committed to the top side here. Josh Peck just pushing bot side. He has TP up. Meanwhile, Bad Ocean pushing in top tower, and NDSU's kind of just giving this over for free. They're not really getting anything in return. Mid lane kind of hesitant right now, so a little bit of bounty gold going over to UNL as NDSU runs out of the wave, and yeah, they got nothing to show for that trade now. Josh Peck did pick up bot tower, so they did have that, and he's got a big wave crashing in here as he continues to just beat on Carson. And I don't think UNL has an answer for this. Cassante just completely ignoring the tower there as the rest of the team crashes in mid lane and picks up Inhib, and now they will transition down to the bot side. They're like, hey, we don't need Baron. We can just do this without it. We've got so much gold in our pockets. Such an advantage here. NDSU going to pick up 2 inhibs as Bad Ocean on this Malphite just splitting top continues to beat away at NDSU's top side. So honestly, this trade is not the worst for UNL. They are going to get an inhib tower off of that. And NDSU heads over to this dragon, but UNL, all of them heading towards Baron, and I think NDSU has it kind of spotted out. As Stormstars is still bot lane here. And NDSU does have the vision in Baron River, so they should spot it out if they see UNL going there. And they do see that they have started Baron now, as Josh Peck not afraid to just walk up alone. Dragon picked up for NDSU. Baron's now at 5k. They're trying to melt it away. Bombzilla falling dangerously low. He does have Lamb's Respite. Josh Peck pulls him out of it and just bops him out of the Baron pit. Now he comes back in. Stormstars blows up Mojojo. The rest will fall. Baron goes over to NDSU, and Josh Peck, what a beast, man. This guy has been playing so well all game long. And we like to see him on these carry-style champions, something a little more split push heavy, not just a tank player. Although, honestly, let's be honest, look at his build. He's full tank. He's full tank. Full tank carry. Giga Chad mode for Josh Peck. NDSU, they're just going to roll in. The Rumble does absolutely nothing to them. And UNL, I'm really not sure what your plan was with this draft, but it did not work at all. NDSU, with a commanding victory here in Game 1, will take down UNL. and look to close out the series potentially in 2 games. GG. All right, so we're going to hop right on into the next game here. Very well played there by NDSU in game 1. As we wait for UNL to join up here. And how about that top side for NDSU? Just great work across the board, honestly. I had my doubts early on, but they really pulled through in the end there. Game 1 goes over to NDSU. Great job across the board. Honestly, it wasn't looking so hot for NDSU at the beginning of that game. Bombzilla was doing a good job. He got that early kindred mark, but they just lost a few skirmishes, a few scuffles, and ultimately ended up just kind of falling because of it. NDSU just kind of outplayed them in a lot of scenarios, and in the end, that is what wins you these games, is being able to win those skirmishes and successfully get objectives off of those. I would expect UNL to change up their draft this game, so time will tell here as we get into the first few bans. Sejuani instantly taken away from Fresh Cut. They do not want any more of that. Freljord champs go away on both sides as the Ash gets banned away again. The Morgana also taken away, so UNL just forcing NDSU to try something a little different this game, and the Azir as well. So I think UNL recognized maybe their bans last game were not exactly the ones they were looking for. I think they kind of banned out the Annie, the Syndra, you know, some of those champions that maybe they prefer not to play against, but ultimately taking away those comfort picks is more important, and NDSU sticks to the same bans as they had last game, as things worked out pretty well. So with that, UNL this time around insta-locks the Xayah. They must have liked what they saw in the lane phase from Razzle Dazzler, and they want a little taste of that themselves. The Amumu hover comes in for NDSU, as that one was banned away last game. And this is always such a great flex pick for them, as they can run it in the support or jungle area. Be curious to see what ADC we go with here. They could lock the Kai'Sa in like UNL did, or look for something a little different here. Maybe the Varus, very strong pick right now. You can practically build anything on it. Amumu has 2 Qs, if I'm not mistaken. Not 1, not 3, but 2. And it is going to be the Kai'Sa lock-in for Razzle Dazzler. So, gosh, what can I say? I've got my little glass ball over here just predicting everything. I would almost expect that it is still going to be a Nautilus pick for UNL this game, but maybe they like the idea of the Rakan. As time runs out here, we'll see what they meant to pick there. That was supposed to be a Seraphine. Okay, so maybe they'll be leaning more heavily on a press the R comp. They kind of had that going with the Malphite and the Rumble last game, but never really pulled it off. So Seraphine definitely a great setup tool. And the J4 on top. So, yep, here it is. They're bringing out the old reliable J4 Seraphine combo. But NDSU, honestly, they are set up to match this right now with the Amumu. Obviously, a great AoE stun from his ultimate can change the outcome of a team fight as well. So NDSU, we'll see if they look to match the team fight comp that UNL is building. And it's going to be the Thresh. So the B-Med Thresh coming out, sending the Amumu to the jungle for fresh cut. So always fun to see those hook champs come out. Look for those highlight reel plays. The Anivia band coming in against the mid laner here. Potentially looking to take out some more AoE champions. I would expect maybe an Orianna ban if it's something their mid laner plays, but it's just going to be the Vigar again. So maybe the Orianna pick comes out for UNL if NDSU doesn't snag it away right here. As Shen and Ornn are both banned away from Josh Peck. I would almost leave the blind pick for Josh Peck in the top lane. Or the counter pick, I mean. He absolutely took over the game at the end there and was just putting the team on his back for a while. So they are just going to make sure that he gets the Cassante. So not afraid to blind it. He played very well on it last game. And honestly, there aren't a ton of picks into Cassante that really bully him. That a lot of people, at least at this skill level, can play consistently. One that does come to mind is the Gnar. I know Gwen is also one that people sometimes like into it, but I'm really not sure how that matchup goes. But ultimately is the Mordekaiser pick into the Cassante, trying to look for a champion that can match the split push a little better. The ASOL hover isn't going to get locked in, though. This champion, very polarizing. Some people think it's trash. Some people think it's OP. I think most think it's OP. And that is why UNL lock it in. So, great team fight ultimate late game for them. And NDSU definitely has their work cut out for them. They'll have to kind of outplay in these skirmishes in the early game like they did last game to have a good chance at winning this game. And if they get stuck in 5v5 situations, I definitely give the edge over to UNL. But NDSU gonna lock in the Syndra, so lot of great pick potential with this comp. You got the Thresh Hook, you got the Amumu 2Q, you got the Syndra Scattering the Weak. All great abilities to pick off any stragglers of UNL. But UNL got a lot of safety here. They've got the Xayah ult now. They've got the Mordekaiser ult. Aurelion Sol is surprisingly slippery to get onto sometimes as well. So, much different draft this time around. And I do think that UNL has made some improvements to what they want to do with their comp. We'll see if they can actually execute on it this time around. Meanwhile, NDSU sticking to comfort, sticking to what they're used to. And that is always a good way to go. So with that being said, we are going to wait for the spectator delay and go into a brief break. And we will catch you for game 2 in just a bit. Here we go. Game 2 of NDSU versus UNL League of Legends. Week 6 of the CCL. NDSU with a pretty convincing victory in game 1. Definitely playing to comfort tonight. Something I always like to see. And really took it to him last game. Had a rough early game, I'd say, in the first few 5-8 minutes maybe. But really brought it together. Last game we saw UNL with a 5-stack topside this time around. They might still be looking for something spicy as Bad Ocean is still in the area. NDSU not taking any chances here. They are going to just 5-point. And these UNL guys, these are a fun group. You know, they've been joking around in all chat in the lobbies and all that all night long. So these are good opponents. Love to see some friendly competition here in the CCL. So hello to any of our UNL visitors in the chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for playing against us. And hopefully thanks for the dub. We do see Ghost TP on Bad Ocean on the Mordekaisers, so perhaps Fresh Cut will be able to abuse the fact that there is no flash on UNL's top laner. As Bad Ocean just going to face check here into Josh Peck, but this time around he does win that fight. So Josh Peck taking a beating there, actually. Surprising amount of damage there from the Mordekaiser already. And perhaps this is the matchup that UNL needs in the top lane. Maybe they knew that Cassante was coming. They opted not to ban it out. But I don't know. Josh Peck was pretty clean on the last game, so we'll see if he can continue that. Meanwhile, Carson on this Ace-Soul, hoping for a more impactful game after game 1 was not it on that Rumble pick. I don't think he had a single KP the entire game. Level 2 lands for bot lane, the Flay, and the hook goes wide. B Maduna 0 for 1 on the Thresh hook so far. Yeah, I hate to see it. Even with the Glacial Slow, just not even close. With this double ranged bot lane for UNL, they are going to have a decent amount of prio as the root lands from Mojojo. B Maduna taking a lot of damage already. Another hook just barely misses. That one will give him a little bit of a pass for, but still 0 for 2 on hook so far. As we see pings coming out, Bombzilla looking for that early gank on the J4. Such a strong early ganker. Josh Peck walks straight into it, gets pulled out. Not even worth flashing, and that's first blood over to Bombzilla. And he must just be the early game king, I guess. Unfortunately, he is the jester of the late game, if you want to say that. Now, if you look at your mini-maps right now, the sad little mummy is in the bot tri-bush of UNL, and I don't think they know about this. He never walked over a ward, so NDSU looking to play aggressive here with this Kaisa pick as B Maduna walks in. The lantern's there, but the miscommunication... Oh, the hook lands max range on the target that already flashed. So they get both flashes out from the bot lane, and B Maduna makes up for those first 2 misses. Picks up the kill. Great play there. Great gank by Fresh Cut, making an impact in this game already. And you can see this Mordekaiser matchup is tough for the Cassante, and I think UNL has found something that potentially works for them. Up 10 CS already on him in the top lane here. B Maduna lands another hook into the Flay. Razzle Dazzler does not get all the Q damage though because there were still some minions there, so they're not able to finish the kill off on Mojojo, but still good pressure here from NDSU. I like that. Josh Peck getting pulled back again and just getting absolutely melted by this Mordekaiser. The shield comes in, doesn't even take any damage, and Josh Peck will be forced to back early most likely. And he's not even really sitting on much gold. Meanwhile, J4 looking for a gank here. NDSU potentially overstayed. Oh, and he forces out both flashes with that flag and drag. So Bimaduna, though, picks up the hook, and Beware of Space takes a lot of damage there still. Razzle Dazzler is not back yet. And that early kill did go over to Fresh Cut on the Amumu, so not ideal. But good pressure here from Bombzilla, just playing very well in these early games. Just wasn't able to transition it last game. Potentially should have a lot more impact no matter what into the mid to late game on this J4 pick. All you have to do is get into ult range, and if you die, you die. But so far so good, 2 for 2 on ganks. Josh Peck starting to learn the matchup here, buffering that pull from Mordekaiser. Stormstar's full combo into Carson, gets stunned. The auto's not enough, but a good flash saves Stormstars, but unfortunately not able to finish the kills. So on a nice edge, Carson barely gets out of that one, but Stormstars has definitely had his number tonight as an EQ comes in from Bombzilla. He doesn't have ult yet. He's not even level 5. And Fresh Cut misses that Q, so no further damage. But we'll keep looking at this mid lane to see if Stormstars can continue to create pressure and priority for NDSU. Bimaduna looking to face check here. He is going to face check into both of them. He should know that's going to happen. Misses the flay. The root comes in from Mo Jojo, and that's an easy kill. And we've seen that a few times tonight already. Bimaduna just kind of face checking as Cleanse is forced out from Razzle Dazzler. He's kind of face checking without really knowing a lot of intel. I mean, he could have gathered that the bot lane was going to be there, and his jungler is nowhere near either if something does happen. So a little bit of a greedy path there, and he pays for it with his life. Now Bombzilla pressuring the dive here. Razzle Dazzler knows with that ward on the tri-bush. And I don't know if this is going to work out for UNL. Razzle Dazzler plays it pretty well. And he is going to pick up the kill 1 for 1. So great dodge from the flag and drag with the E speed up. And now Carson wants to go in. Stormstars is with no flash, but Carson has no more left in the tank and will not be able to finish off that kill. Josh Peck pulls Bad Ocean under the tower. Very well played. Ghost is popped by Bad Ocean, but Josh Peck might just have the damage. Ultimate from Mordekaiser. It's going to be close, but Josh Peck continues to be a beast tonight. Picks up the solo kill. And great mechanics coming out from NDSU's top laner once again. Just has had Bad Ocean's number all night. Small CS advantage in the top side for Bad Ocean. Despite getting killed early, he has had quite a bit of pressure up there. Meanwhile, Stormstars has a bit of a CS advantage. Now NDSU's bot lane going to get picked off by Bombzilla here. Great flay, but the ultimate lands onto 2. Razzle Dazzler has to ult out. Not able to pick up the kill return. So Bimaduna saves his ADC, but falls again. So 0-2 on this Thresh. You can see the play potential and the good kiting potential, I guess you want to call it. But unfortunately, he will fall again. Now we see Fresh Cut on this Amumu looking to take the first Rift Herald of the game. As we pan down here, he should be able to secure this one before anybody from UNL shows up. So good secure, good to recognize that Bombzilla had shown bot side there. And Stormstars continues to try the pressure here. Now Bombzilla continues to play aggressive here, but he's just too late as Fresh Cut picks up Herald. Stormstars now might be in a 3v1 situation, but has the awareness to back off. Bombzilla EQ not under tower. Seraphine ult does get extended, and now the Asol ult on top. And unlucky for UNL, that kill goes over to Beware of Space, but good job by them. Now Fresh Cut just going into 3 people alone. He is going to hit the 3-man ult, but the heal from Seraphine's enough, and what the heck was that? He just walked straight into him. And I have some questions to ask on that one. With that, UNL up 2k gold, 6-3. 10 minutes into the game here. Second dragon has spawned. Josh Peck doing a good job buffering out all those E's with the Cassante. Now NDSU prepping Dragon Pit here, but they are weaker at this point in the game. They still have the Cinder damage, they still have the Kaisa damage, but this Seraphine, with that ultimate down, they might be able to make something happen. Fresh Cut not communicating with his team well at all here. Gets flashed on. He has to flash out. Day 4 ult will secure the kill, and Fresh Cut just looks a little out of sorts this game. I mean, he's just kind of running straight into people. That's going to be another kill picked up as B Maduna falls for the 3rd time, and NDSU falling apart here. Fresh Cut not communicating that he wants to go for that play or something, but the rest of the team was not with him on that, and with that, that's going to be a free dragon over to UNL. Bot lane for UNL going even better this game. Wasn't necessarily going bad last game, but now we see Carson on the Asol starting to trade a little harder here. Most likely we'll have that Rod of Ages finished on his next back as we see a fight start in the top lane. Ghost and ult popped by Bad Ocean. Josh Peck just trying to survive as best he can. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we got a fight started. Stormstars tries to lantern out of the Asol ult, but still takes the damage. B Maduna misses the hook, and because of that, Stormstars will die. B Maduna not able to save his mid laner, and they lose out in the 2v2. Meanwhile, Josh Peck was able to survive, has that Jock Show finished now as he TPs back to lane. And Herald is going to run out soon here for Fresh Cut, so he's probably going to have to pop it mid lane here if he even remembers that he has it. And we will see here. Not a lot of time left on it. Will he pop it in time? Nice. And he does. So, Fresh Cut remembers he has the eye. And they will get some value out of it. But I don't know if it's going to get the charge off. 14 minutes hits. And turret plates fall right before. So, Fresh Cut just kind of making some misplays here today. In this game, he had a great game 1, but this game, couple head scratching plays and not heads up enough to realize that the Herald was running out, and that plates were about to fall, so they do not get max value out of that. About a 3.5k gold lead for UNL at the moment. this game going a little bit better for them into the mid game, as NDSU hasn't really been able to get much going, and B. Meduna just face checks again, and that's going to be his 4th death. This guy is kind of running it, guys. Not a good start for the bot lane of NDSU, as tower falls as well. Let's look at the gold here in the bot lane. Massive gold lead for Mojojo on the Xayah. Slight gold lead for Josh Peck in the top lane. Did not expect that, as he does his best to get out of the Mordekaiser ult, and he's taking a lot of damage here, and I don't know if he can survive this one. He's trying his darndest, though. He's going to keep fighting back. The ult pops out. He tries to get out. Cannot dodge the E, though, and Bad Ocean will get his revenge. Now Stormstar shows up, and I don't know if you win these. Xayah is on the way. Hits a nice combo. Ultimate's not going to be enough, and now he is stuck here with no flash. Xayah just going to auto him to death. Mojojo on a rampage here. Now 4-0 on this Xayah. And UNL just dumpstering NDSU this game. And they will start up the second Rift Herald of the game. And all NDSU can do is push mid and hope that they can get something in return. And we were saying it in draft. Oh, nice max range hook there from B. Meduna, but the Q misses from Amumu, and now they're completely out of position. And there's the ult combo we talked about, and they absolutely get decimated by UNL's Press the R comp. 2 quick kills. And the mid, or sorry. Well, yeah, the mid jungle support of NDSU just getting dumpstered this game. They are falling asleep at the wheel. The communication is not there, and this is an issue that we have seen a few times. Great flash to buffer the EQ. The Bombzilla is gonna fall. Just looking for a bit too much, but I like that mechanical little bit of show off there, hitting that flash from the EQ there. The Razzle Dazzler is able to return a kill, so a little something there, but not a lot of high moments for NDSU this game, as they are down quite a tremendous amount of gold. And they'll be looking for Razzle Dazzler and Josh Peck to inch their way back into this game. UNL setting up for Dragon number 3 already. Stormstar is getting some good poke. Actually forces out Mojojo's ult before they're able to start up Dragon. But I'll be honest, even though NDSU has 4 members here with Josh Peck on the way, I don't know if they win this fight. I really don't. Seraphine ult is up. J4 ult is up. Asol ult is up. So they have the combo. Stormstar is just getting caught out in the middle of his team. No Lantern to save him. B. Meduna now throws it out. And now the Asol comes in. Lands onto 3. And this is such a scrappy fight. There's no focus from NDSU. Now they finally are trying to get more. But Josh Peck is able to get the shutdown on Mojojo. That's a lot of gold in his pocket. But NDSU 4 for 1 at the Dragon Pit just gets decimated in the 5v5. And that's exactly what you would expect just looking at the match score right now. Just looking at the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Bad Ocean, he was just pushing top that whole time. Wasn't even a 5v5. That was a 4v5. And UNL handily won that one. NDSU has their work cut out for them. They stuck with comfort this game. Usually that's a good plan, but ultimately just a few too many mistakes, specifically from the support jungle duo of NDSU. And they are not looking in their top form right now. UNL executing very well on this team fight comp of theirs. Bombzilla goes in fairly deep here, but Fresh Cut might be going too deep again. Here's this jungle support combo just not communicating with their team or something. Now the damage is here. Razzle Dazzler not quite going to finish. He does finish it with the Gale Force. This is an opportunity for NDSU to chase, but the Scattering the Weak pushes them out of range of the Thresh Hook. And there is the disengage from Mojojo. Flash forced out on Beware of Space. So NDSU, good job punishing Bombzilla's aggression. They will get a kill. And Bombzilla, we've seen that a few times now. Oh, Scattering the Weak does not land. The charm lands onto 2, but they will finish off Mojojo. So UNL just fighting over nothing right now. I don't really know what the plan is here. I mean, they do pick up 2 kills in return, so it's a 2 for 2 in the end, but anything even right now is an advantage for NDSU. If you look at the stat line so far, really tough game here for Stormstars. 0-6-3 on this Syndra, 0-6-3 for B Maduna as well. Meanwhile, Carson having a much better game after his abysmal 0 KP game on Rumble in game 1. UNL making their way topside. There's 2 members of NDSU in the bot lane at the moment, which includes Fresh Cut. Now a ward from NDSU did get autoed, so they should know that they're on this, but nobody's even there. Nobody even flinched about it. Free Baron at 21 minutes over to UNL. Now Fresh Cut and Stormstar is trying to fight off this fed Mordekaiser, who's just playing with them at this point. And it feels like the tides have honestly turned. This feels like a completely different game compared to game 1. Bad Ocean getting engaged on, but he has his Mordekaiser ult, so he gets out of that one by ulting Fresh Cut, who now has to flash the wall. B Maduna hits a hook, but again, in these team fight scenarios, NDSU will not win these. Now for UNL's sake, they have Baron. They don't need to fight. And they are just going to head mid as all of NDSU was bot lane there. Fresh Cut, 50% HP, walking dangerously close. Seraphine still has ult, so does the J-Force, so does the ASOL. And inhib number 1 will fall at 22 minutes here. Fresh Cut just sitting in the front there with no health. Goes in, does not have ult. What was that? NDSU gets decimated. And this team comp is just busted for UNL, playing it as well as one can. Obviously, it's a little easy. B Maduna hits a nice hook under tower. Scattering the Weak comes through, but the cleanse comes through from Mojojo. Just blows them up, and NDSU seals their fate. That should be game already. 26-7, 14K gold lead. Absolute destruction from the side of UNL as they take NDSU down in game 2. Game 3 on the way. What a turnaround from UNL. Really took it to him that game. Kudos to UNL for kind of shaking off game 1. It didn't really go the way they wanted it to, but game 2, really took it to NDSU. I don't think anything really went NDSU's way that game. And a lot of blunders from several members of NDSU throughout that game. You know, I think Josh Peck was still doing his thing, doing the best he could in a tough matchup. Got that solo kill against the top laner of UNL, but in the end, the rest of the team just kind of fell apart. And we've seen this happen a few times for NDSU. Just don't exactly have the cleanest communication through the mid game, and ultimately, once it got to late game, the press art comp of UNL just came online, and there was nothing NDSU could do. Just waiting on the members of both teams to be ready here, and then we will be into game 3. Still counts as silver scrapes if it's game 3, right? It's still match point. NDSU has elected for blue side this game. Blue side has won both games this series so far. UNL did a good job changing up their bans last game as we look at the pick ban from game 2. You know, they took out the champions that were working well for NDSU and ultimately just picked a much better team comp that worked well for them and really showed why they are still a force to be reckoned with. As I mentioned, both these teams have the same record in the CCL, so looking to kind of distinguish themselves from each other, and whoever wins this next game will kind of move ahead of the other on the standings. So this game definitely still has some stakes. Some juicy medium rare steaks. I would expect UNL to lean on the press art comp again. It seemed to be working out for them. It's usually something you see from a less experienced team. Not throwing any shade at them. It's just an easier style comp to pull off usually. But whatever works, works, you know. All right, Chad, if you had to give MVP to one player so far in the series, who would it be? I'll pull up the lobby so you can see the names here. For me, if I had to pick an MVP so far, it'd either be Josh Peck for the side of NDSU because he's played well both games, honestly, all things considered. Or on the side of UNL, it would be probably Mo Jojo. I think their AD has been playing pretty damn well. Their bot lane in general has been playing well, but Mo Jojo has honestly had some decent games, especially the last one. All right, and we are ready for draft, finally. Similar bans coming out. UNL banning out the Azir and the Xayah, so not wanting to give the Xayah away on that blue side. So that is going to leave up one more pick that NDSU might be able to grab. And NDSU just going to stick with the same 3 bans they've been doing all night. We'll see what they go with here as the Xayah has been taken away. It's going to be the Sejuani hover and the lock for fresh cut. Seeing if he can repeat what he did in game 1. UNL locking in that Varus. Very strong pick. We talked about it earlier. So I'm glad to see that one of these teams is willing to play it. I think it's probably the strongest ADC in the meta right now. And going to go back to that Seraphine. So UNL most likely looking for another team fight comp, and NDSU better have a plan or they might run into the same issues they did last game. Sivir hover comes in. And that is going to be locked for the Razzle Dazzler, so that spell shield hopefully will come in handy in some of these fights. As well as the good wave clear and DPS from that champion. We'll see what they pair for support. Me Lulu, so new pick for BMED. I don't think we've seen him on the Lulu much, so they decided to go with the Enchanter bot side, and ultimately they're trying to pick. They're trying to get picks in that are going to help them kind of disengage or get out of these fights that UNL clearly wants to do, as they do lock in the J4 again. So going for that Seraphine J4 combo. And if NDSU's smart here, they ban the ASOL. I don't think that they want to give that one away as well. And there it is, instant ban. Definitely a very impactful champion in that last game. UNL banning away the Ari, and then most likely the Syndra here, unless they don't want to play against the Cassante anymore. And it's just going to be the Shen ban, so no Shen for Mr. Josh Peck. Vigar banned out one more time here, so we'll see what the mid lane pick ends up being. Gangplank locked in. So I would expect that that is going top lane. Another new pick here. Pulling out all the stops. Definitely fits into their team fight comp though. Slapping down his ultimate. But now the Ornn has made it through pick ban for Josh Peck, so he is going to lock that one in. Finally gets a game on his Ornn. And mid lane, I would expect a Syndra or an Orianna for Storm Stars. 8 seconds on the clock for him. And instead it's the Lissandra. So I actually like this adaptation from NDSU. Trying to pick champions that buy time into the engage that UNL has. So good adaptation by them. Hopefully it works out for them in the end. But I do like that they changed up their strategy a bit, just like UNL had to a bit. UNL does grab the set into the Ornn, so hoping to pull that big boy into the rest of his team as well as the Sejuani. But this should be a spicy one here for game 3 with the picks locked in. Ultimately, this one's going to come down to execution. I think UNL once again has the easier team comp to execute, but NDSU has the tools that they may need to pull this one out. With the picks locked in, we are going to go to a break. Give you a little silver scrapes. Why not? Here we go. Game 3. UNL tied it up in game 2 with a dominating victory over NDSU. Both teams shaking up their drafts in this one. It's going to be a spicy one. I'm excited to see how these teams adapt. And who ends up reigning supreme in the end. We've seen a couple 5 stacks from UNL as they continue to do the same thing. Bot side, they're going to all go bot side. So their level 1s have been a little spicier. Meanwhile, NDSU keeping it very simple. NDSU has some decent scaling with this Sivir. But it really is going to be up to this Sivir to do all their damage. I mean, Lysandra can do damage, but besides that, I'd say if UNL is able to blow up Razzle Dazzler, it's going to be very tough for NDSU to get a lot done. As Bad Ocean face checking into NDSU's top side here. Flashing the sit-ups. Flashing those crunches.
I'm not just a singer. I'm also a stunt woman.
Josh Peck just going to make sure that there's no funny business happening here with Bad Ocean as Fresh Cut actually makes his way back down to his red buff. And obviously there's a lot of damage on the side of UNL this game. Can't exactly say the same for NDSU. So it'll be very... I'll be very interested to see how this game pans out. Wow, nice barrel chain. Already level 1 from Carson on this GP. And he's whipped out a few different champions this game. Played a little bit of ASOL, played a little bit of Rumble. Now GP, so this guy's champ pool really getting flexed out this game. And this Seraphine from Beware of Space, very strong last game. Definitely played it well, so I'm sure he's happy to be on that champion again. Piloting that one. Beamaduna getting chunked quite a bit already here. As Fresh Cut is looking for an early gank, trying to get this Sivir ahead. As we talked about, this Sivir is like the only damage. Flash is coming forward from NDSU. They want this one, and they will get it. But Mo Jojo is going to get the return kill, but that probably means death for him as well. So Fresh Cut with the early gank. Love to see that proactivity coming through from NDSU's jungler. And it succeeds. I mean, you would have expected the J4 to be the one ganking early, but that is not the case. Now with that, Bombzilla does have the heads up to go into the top side of Fresh Cut and take away his camp. So Fresh Cut gets his bot lane ahead, but ultimately is going to be behind quite a bit himself. And he's just sitting in base right now. I don't know what he was waiting for there, but he just wasted a lot of time in Fountain. Nice dodge there from Josh Peck. Bombzilla finishing off Scuttlecrab. Potentially looking for a gank here, but with the wave state the way it is, Josh Peck not going to walk out. Unfortunate Razzle Dazzler did die there in that fight, but they do get the first blood gold onto him. So in the end, it did work out for NDSU as Mo Jojo goes ahead forward here, gets polymorphed. And now Razzle Dazzler looking for the return goal, but Beamaduna takes so much damage from the empowered Q from Mo Jojo, but Beware of Space also takes a lot. And this bot lane very volatile already. CS lead already accrued quite heavily for Mojojo, who's been doing a great job of last hitting this whole series. And now Stormstars sees that a gank is coming and is just going to get out of there. Takes a decent amount of damage from Bombzilla. Meanwhile, Josh Peck and Bad Ocean have just been trading all night, it feels like. Sorry about that. Josh Peck trying to get this wave in, putting a lot of damage down on a Bad Ocean. Does not dodge out of the Haymaker. That W damage definitely hurting. Meanwhile, NDSU getting pushed in the bot side here. Bad Ocean has to flash away, and now Josh Peck with the flash down just ults him to death. Solo kill once again. And I tell you, man, Josh Peck on this Ornn. There's a reason it got banned out a couple times. So Josh Peck just playing great all night. Has definitely had Bad Ocean's number for the most part. But it seems like every game we see this Bombzilla and this bot lane of UNL getting the prio they need and picking up First Dragon once again. But this time NDSU perhaps wants to contest. They are hovering. Fresh Cut could go over the wall potentially. It's going to be a bit of a coin flip. Fresh Cut wanted to get in there, but he is going to get poked out. And now the flag and drag will land onto him. Healed comes down from Bimaduna as well as the Gangplank ult. Bombzilla is searching for more, playing so aggressively. And Fresh Cut gets out with his life, but does have to spend flash. Here in game 3, things staying very even. A nice cancel from Bad Ocean. Putting down a little bit of damage there, but now Josh Peck gets that grass proc back. And gold CS advantage in the top, in the jungle, and in the bot lane for UNL. Bad Ocean now getting the better end of these trades. Stormstar's doing a good job last hitting. Has the most farm in the game so far. Oh, that's some satisfying CS right there. Bad Ocean does take a tower shot there, so Josh Peck able to get a bit of a equalizer in health there. Razzle Dazzler falling trying to get that wave in bot lane. And I would expect to see Bombzilla throwing out some more ganks early on here. Fresh Cut coming top here. They know that this guy has no flash. The Ornn ult comes down. Ult from Set comes through, but even with the W damage, it's not enough. Josh Peck flashes. Probably didn't have to use it there. Now Stormstars does have his ult. He could probably use it here. He will use it. Now Bimaduna is here to help. Is Bombzilla going to be able to get out of here with his flash? He jukes Stormstars with the E and actually gets out. A misplay from NDSU's mid laner. Does not net them that kill. Well played by Bombzilla with the fancy feet. Stormstars even had flash there. You know, he could have probably taken that E, and then if Bombzilla even goes past the wall there, he can flash over and finish the kill, but just a little out of sorts. And now both ultimates come down at the same time. A bit of anti-synergy, honestly. They did not chain the CC properly, and Bimaduna just gets out of there with his flash. And UNL, uncharacteristic mistake from their bot lane. Despite Stormstars not picking up that kill, he has been playing very well though so far. Up about 2 waves of CS on this Gangplank, but plate money going in for bot lane here. And NDSU needs some help, but Fresh Cut's nowhere to be seen. He is in the top side, so They're just going to finish off this wave and look to reset. Mojo Jojo trying to cancel that kill, or cancel that back, but not able to. Josh Peck still down a decent amount of CS. Smells that something's up and backs off. And that is that veteran mentality coming in for NDSU's top laner. And Bombzilla looking for an invade in the top side here, but he's not going to find anything as all those camps were just recently cleared out by Fresh Cut. Looking at the gold here, slight advantage for Josh Peck with those 2 kills. As the fight erupts here, set ults Josh Peck backwards. The EQ does not land from J4, but J4 still has ult. And the damage is going to be enough. Ult doesn't even land from the Ornn. So shutdown gold going over to Bombzilla. And he is still down in gold on Fresh Cut though. And speaking of Fresh Cut, here he is. Waits on the ultimate and ends up missing because of it. I don't know why he waited. He gave Beware of Space time to flash out of that one. And just another little misplay like that that could have gone better for NDSU. They had the element of surprise, but in the end did not effectively use it. And UNL gets out of that one. Those GP Qs starting to hurt a little more with his Essence Reaver completed. Stormstar still looking to finish his Mythic. Probably has it on his next back. Now a fight breaking out in the river here. They don't have their Sivir damage yet, but a nice knockup with the Lulu ult comes through. Seraphine only lands onto 1. GP is not in the fight yet. And I'm not sure what Carson's doing there. Now the flash W from Stormstars. Good aggression. Double kill goes over to Razzle Dazzler. The 3rd kill goes over to Stormstars. And Carson just never got into that fight. I don't know what the GP was waiting for. He just pressed R and watched from a distance. So NDSU winning out that skirmish, and they are up 7-2 already in this game, picking up their first dragon. And this Sivir is getting online, should have his Mythic completed on his next back. So that will be a big power spike for them to continue to push the advantage with. Carson has 2 barrels sitting there, or sorry, just 1. Almost blows up Beam Aduna immediately, and he will just tick him away with Ignite. Flashes out, so Beam Aduna back to his old ways of face checking alone. That is going to be an EQ combo hitting from Bombzilla. Forces out the flash from Fresh Cut. And somebody tell Beam Aduna that Fog of War is a dangerous place to be. Bombzilla goes over, just one-shots Fresh Cut. Razzle Dazzler here, but Stormstars is also here. The Everfrost that was just completed does hit. Now they're going to W Carson, and Bombzilla is too low to help out. Carson's going to try to turn this one, but a killing spree now over to Razzle Dazzler. 4-1, and UNL just gifting kills over to this Fed Sivir. Slight gold advantage despite being down in CS. 4 kills under his name right now. And now NDSU's bot lane aggressively pathing, and Razzle Dazzler not able to communicate properly with his support to walk there, and just these little blunders just really hurting NDSU. And that is going to be first tower. All 5 plates going over to UNL's bot lane. So all this time spent out of lane means that UNL's bot lane picks up all that plate money, and that does give Mo Jojo a slight gold advantage despite the 4 kills for Razzle Dazzler. So we look at the scoreboard. Mythic items are starting to be completed for most members. We see a Radiant Virtue finished for Josh Peck. Eventually we'll see those ornaments coming out for everybody else. On the other side we see a Bork for this set. Try to cut through the tanks of NDSU. Bombzilla hovering on the top side, trying to shut down this Ornn, and I don't know why they keep looking top side. Honestly, Josh Peck has done a great job. They do have ult on Bombzilla, but I mean, I just don't really know what you accomplish ganking the Ornn. So Josh Peck just kind of stares him down. Mid laners have now moved to the bot side, but Stormstars looking to hover back towards mid side here as NDSU thinks something's up here in the top side jungle. Bombzilla taking away the blue buff, and I see a bit of a death brush going, but Razzle Dazzler is sitting on a ward, and this does not look good for NDSU. Never sit on a ward unless you know it's swept, and now they don't have the Sivir damage, but they do have Stormstars. The bot lane of UNL falls. Ornn gets ulted. Josh Peck's going to get solo killed by Bad Ocean under his own tower. Now Bombzilla getting chased down by the rest of NDSU. Can he get out of it? The CC chain comes through, but the EQ gets him out. Fresh Cut gonna chase, and he is going to finish this kill. Now Carson looking to return a kill, but that is not going to happen. And thank God for NDSU that Stormstars is strong in this game, or they would have no damage after Razzle Dazzler died pretty quickly there sitting on that ward. Beamaduna gonna cancel this back. They might be able to look for more. No ult on Fresh Cut though, so they can't chase. Yeah, uncharacteristic solo kill from Josh Peck. Just kind of falling under his tower there. Must not have been getting the best trades. And Bad Ocean did get revenge there. So once again, Fresh Cut on this Sejuani. Looking very good. Has a bounty on his head. And does have a gold advantage over his opponent, Bombzilla. Herald started up now. GP barrel combo not going to land. And now the TP from Stormstars comes in. NDSU wants to fight this. They feel like they are in a strong enough position at the moment. And we have a 5v5 fight prepped up here. NDSU does not have the best vision control here. And they just full engage on a Stormstars. The Lissandra ult comes through. Sat buying so much time, but he gets CC changed. The W nearly one-shots Razzle Dazzler, who's now in the J4 ult, but J4 does no damage. Razzle Dazzler trying to kite it out. He cancels an auto. Meanwhile, Josh Peck dies. Razzle Dazzler so low, stuck in the pit alone, tries to get out as much damage as he can. Now Fresh Cut trying to finish off the kill on Bombzilla, but Bombzilla survives. Seraphine ult comes out, but J4 and the rest of the team cannot finish the kill onto Fresh Cut. Now Beamaduna falls. And that is nearly a clean ace, 4 for 0. So many members of UNL got low there, but NDSU does not have the target focus. They did not have the vision control at all to fight in that river, and they pay for it. As we see all the red vision that was in that river still sitting there. Meanwhile, blue team, the map is very dark for them right now. Not a single ward is placed right now besides the blue trinket in their bot jungle. So definitely looking tough for them right now. They will try to work on that as the game progresses. But the game is completely evened out now. UNL actually pulling ahead with a 2K gold lead. Stormstar is looking to break that down as there is a lot of standing gold on the map for NDSU still, with all 3 outer towers still up. Leandries has been finished for Beware of Space on this Seraphine, so looking to cut down those tanks. A Radiant Virtue also completed for Fresh Cut on the Sejuani. The bot lane of NDSU, I mean, they can win this fight. Polymorph comes out a little bit late, but never mind. The set damage is there, but the ult from Lulu is there, and now Razzle Dazzler and his support should be able to run him down. Well played by NDSU's bot lane, and that's just a free shutdown over to the Sivir. Bad Ocean just playing a little too aggressively, and we've seen that a little bit from both him and Bombzilla throughout the night. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now Josh Peck trying to get some damage down onto Carson. And Razzle Dazzler and Beamaduna just keep pushing here. And this is the power that the Sivir has. Good decision making so far. NDSU really trying to keep this game close. But now they are overstaying. And UNL's bot lane's coming. NDSU's bot lane completely not good communication at all. The ults land and both of them will fall. What an overstay. Just Just get out of there. I don't know what they're staying for. And that is another blunder, and we just talk about this over and over again. NDSU, they'll make a good play, and then they just fall asleep at the wheel and don't think about what's going to happen next, and they do get in trouble for that. Now Bombzilla getting CC chained. The Lissandra ult comes out. He is tanky, but not tanky enough, and he will fall. So back and forth, both teams just kind of gifting kills over. Navori Quickblades has been finished for GP now. Bounty on Carson and Mojojo. And look at the deep vision that UNL has here. You know, they've got red wards in the bot jungle, as you can see on your mini map there. That could be useful for them at the next dragon spawn if they're still there. Meanwhile, Rift Herald being spawned here. Not the best value, as that tower is already pretty low, so only going to get that one charge out. And I have not been super impressed with the Rift Herald use from NDSU so far. Great chains lance from Varus, and they're just going to blow up B Maduna. Not having the best series tonight. Just gets blown up. And a good ultimate catch for Mojojo. Picks that kill up. Now Fresh Cut picks up the blue buff. Is going to get EQ'd. And J4 ult is up to lock him in. And he's just going to flash out. So NDSU now trying to re-engage in the jungle. But now Stormstar is not communicating that his team wants to back out. And NDSU falling apart a little bit at the seams here. Still very close game. Reminder, this is game 3. Both these teams have the same record in CCL, trying to get ahead of the other in the standings. Bombzilla just being an absolute nuisance in the top jungle here, and NDSU wants to contest. Fresh Cut looking to fight here, but the rest of NDSU is just going to walk straight into Bombzilla. Razzle Dazzler maybe looking to chase down him. Now Bombzilla goes in, and both teams just lack of communication. Lots of damage from the W there, but now the Lissandra comes down and just hits them off. So both kills coming in for NDSU. More fighting in the bot lane. Meanwhile, UNL's bot lane might be able to pick off Bimaduna again. Careful of the fog of war as we toggle vision here. Red team can't see into the pit right now. They have to try to get in. GP is on the way. Now we see a TP coming in. And they still have no vision of Baron. They have no jungler. GPL came in. Baron's still only at 6k. And watch the barrels. Lots of damage. They are stuck in this pit here. The Seraphine ult comes down, but the Zhonya's is there. Now Ornn ult to buy them some space. Flash W from Stormstars, just trying to keep them off the Baron. Baron ticking down. It does get picked up by the Ornn at 28 HP. And now NDSU's got to try to run for the hills. The Shurelya's is popped, and they get out with highway robbery there. Close fight there. And UNL will pick up their consolation prize with their 3rd dragon. Still a super close game. NDSU has Baron in their possession. Gold pretty much dead even. Everybody's sitting on almost 2 items. I bet Razzle Dazzler's sitting on a lot of gold. 2,200 gold. He should have backed after Baron. So not the most optimal job from him. If a fight breaks out here and they don't win, I would point at the fact that he is sitting on a lot of gold right now. Josh Peck doing a great job taking out those barrels. And now Bombzilla looking for an angle here. He is in EQ ult range. The flash ult from Varus. Now ult onto 3. Seraphine ult on top. And UNL just pulls off everything they were looking for. And NDSU should have seen it coming. I mean, come on. They're walking straight at you. 3 for nothing. Now Braxton trying to get something returned. But he can't. And just like that, Baron basically wasted for NDSU. And that Sivir, I don't know if it would have mattered, but if he had just backed and gotten those Navori earlier, now shut down for Braxton, just picks up the solo kill. Might even be able to get another one here. We'll see. Bad Ocean hits the W. Can Josh Peck get to the blast? Oh, no, he can't. And man, this game is hyphy, but UNL picks up a lot of gold from those kills, and that's what they needed to do. They needed to force the fight. Use those ultimates, use those flashes. And I got to give it to Mo Jojo. Great job with these flash ultimates, hitting these ultimates from long range, just doing everything he needs to. And it's not typical that you see Varus as the engage for a team, but that is exactly what's going on. As we toggle the vision again here, UNL doing a great job of getting these wards into the bot jungle here, keeping up that vision. Meanwhile, NDSU trying to do the same here, but they need to get that vision deeper if they want to continue to have a chance in this game. And it does feel similar to last game, where it's getting late enough where the team fight comp of UNL is just going to be too much for NDSU to handle if they're not positioning properly. There's a lot of people here in the bot lane. NDSU really wants this outer turret, but I don't know if it's worth doing a full-on fight over. This game really comes down to if NDSU can get their kind of time-saving ultimates off before they get blown up. The Lysandra ult. The Lulu ult. Bombzilla looking for a death bush here. Might be able to land it on several, but Stormstar's good heads-up play to check the bush with his Q. And again, we toggle the vision here, and red team has all the vision in the world. Blue team completely in the dark at the moment. Next objectives coming up. We have Dragon up in 120. Now, Bad Ocean completely out of position, but ult's out. Potentially might save him, and he absolutely blows up Stormstars. Can't even ult in time. And that is the power of Bad Ocean on this set. Now, they did use Seraphine ult as well, but this is not looking good for NDSU. They're down a member, and I guess I got tabbed out. Un minuto, sorry about that. NDSU gonna do their best to try and hold on. Meanwhile, UNL sitting on a decent amount of gold. They are gonna hit their resets. And at this point in the game, it might come down to just one more team fight, and that might be all she wrote for NDSU. UNL looking like they are not slowing down here. Dragon Soul on the board for them in 20 seconds. We've been doing a trying his best to clear out that vision we've been talking about. UNL doing a great job of vision control throughout this series. Now Varus, 3 items completed. He also has a Bork, 3 items on the GP, 3 items on the set, to the 2 items on each of NDSU's members. They are very far behind. And Bad Ocean just does not give a crap anymore. Both tanks trying to wail on him, but they can't do anything. And Dragon started up, and NDSU's just asleep at the wheel again. Just goes over free to UNL. So that is Ocean, or sorry, Cloud Soul over to UNL. Now they're just going to transition into Baron. And NDSU, what are you doing? They're all just sitting mid. What is your plan here, guys? They're just asleep at the wheel. UNL has started up Baron. Seraphine just flashed in place. I mean, what am I watching right now? Baron's just gone. NDSU, where are you? Oh my gosh, the Sedge ult gets flashed out. Now NDSU is stuck, clumped up in the middle of the map, and here comes UNL. Looking for the engage, the flash J4 ult on top of Bimaduna. He falls to the 6th time this game with Baron, with Soul. UNL is going to march down mid lane here. Stormstars tries to look for a desperation play. NDSU trying to fight back here. 4v5. They're trying their darndest here. Surfing ult hits all 3 of their members. They're all falling extremely low. And now the Varus starts wailing on him. Wailing away. That's a double kill. Shut down over to Mojojo. And that is going to be game. That is going to be match point. And that is going to be UNL taking down NDSU in 3 games. 30 minutes in. That is a dub. 10K up. Well played by UNL. MVP, I'd have to give it over to Mojojo. That guy played very well all series. So, unfortunately, NDSU will fall to UNL. Well played by them. And honestly, NDSU just had no answer once UNL picked up that comp that they were looking for. That team fight wombo combo comp was what they needed. It's what they got, and NDSU had no answers for them. Unfortunately, just too many mistakes. And with that, that is going to be all for us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to the players. Thank you to all of the NDSU esports community members. And we will see you next week for week 7 of CCL. But until then, I'm Dan Gotti Boy. I will catch you all next time. Peace.